Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Melissa. This is our online Carb Smart class. Hopefully we'll have some people joining us live or joining us later for the recorded version. I'm happy for anyone. Welcome. I'm so glad you're all here today. It is 11 o'clock here on Wednesday. So the second Wednesday of the month is our Carb Smart class. So here we are today. Hopefully going to keep it a little bit shorter than last time. I know things get really busy as the holiday season approaches. So I want to keep the videos perhaps a little bit shorter so you can watch the entire thing and get all of the info in it. We'll see how that goes. So our topic today is, there's a bug in the air. Our topic today is managing carbohydrates and blood sugar during the holiday season. During this holiday season, I want you to make a promise to yourself to put yourself at the top of your list. It's hard work to stay on course with managing blood sugar throughout the year, whether you have diabetes or pre-diabetes. That's kind of more of what this class is geared towards today. And the holiday season really has the potential to throw you off completely. Even with COVID-19, there will still be travel and parties, drinking, big meals and snack foods at the office, which all create a challenging environment for eating healthy. I'm sure we can all agree on that. Add to that the days of travel with little scheduled exercise, and it becomes a really difficult task to stay on track with managing blood sugar and carbohydrate intake. Today we're going to talk about some tips and strategies to help you manage your carbohydrate intake and blood sugar levels while also letting you enjoy the holiday events with everyone else. Though, of course, just like everything else with diabetes or prediabetes, you do have to take a few extra steps. Okay, so let's start with some tips on holidays with a big meal. We have one of those coming up in 2 weeks from tomorrow? Big meal days, right? So a few tips. There's 8 in this section. So number 1, eat breakfast or snacks earlier in the day and avoid the idea of saving your carbs for the big meal later on. If you skip meals, it may be harder to manage your blood sugar later in the day when you do start eating. So don't be saving those carbs for the meal. Have some small meal or snacks beforehand. Don't just starve until your big meal. Number 2, limit the number of servings of starchy foods on your plate. It might be tempting to have some mashed potatoes, sweet potato casserole, rolls, all of those things. However, try to choose just one of those items or instead only a few spoonfuls or bites of each. It's nice to be able to taste all the foods, but in very small portion sizes so we can help manage the blood sugar and keep it from getting out of control. Choose foods, this is number 3. Choose fruits and vegetables that are served raw, grilled, or steamed. Avoid vegetables in creams, gravies, and butter. Butter doesn't really have any carbs in it, but cream sauces and gravies can. Okay, so choose things, the fruits and vegetables that aren't covered in sauces and that are prepared in a grilled or steamed or raw type of way. Number 4, stick to calorie-free drinks such as water, tea, sparkling water, those flavored sparkling waters, and instead of having fruit juices or punches or mixed drinks. Sorry, itchy nose. It doesn't take much for the body to digest carbohydrates in liquid form, like in juice. So juices and mixed drinks can affect blood sugar much quicker and more dramatically than foods that you have to chew. Number 5, if you do choose to drink alcohol during the holiday season, limit the amount that you have and have it with food. That's very important. especially if you have diabetes. It is very important to make sure that you don't have alcohol on an empty stomach. Alcohol affects your blood sugar and your body in general much more dramatically when it's consumed on an empty stomach. The recommendation, just FYI, for diabetics, it actually drops your blood sugar, okay, which is not good. Having a low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, is even more dangerous than having a high blood sugar. Okay, the recommendation for women is no more than one alcoholic beverage a day, and for men, it should be no more than 2. So what does one drink actually equal? One drink would be the equivalent of 12 ounces, fluid ounces, of beer, 5 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces of an 80 proof distilled spirit, or 1 ounce of 100 proof distilled spirits. Okay? 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine. Remember those. Number 6, enjoy your favorite holiday treats. It is important to enjoy those things every so often, but take small portions, eat slowly, and be very mindful while you're eating those special treats to savor the taste and the texture. We feel much more satisfied when we take the time to be mindful about what we're eating rather than being distracted while we're actually eating. Number 7, after your meal, take a walk with family or friends. Exercise will get you moving and keep you focused on your goals, but it also gives you a welcome break from being surrounded by treats. Exercise is also a great way to lower your blood sugar levels. I've told this to patients before in the office, but when I was getting my diabetes educator certification, I was taught that a leisurely stroll, so not even a power walk, just going for a stroll after a meal can lower your blood sugar by 1 point each minute you're out strolling around. So that can be very helpful for blood sugar management. After meals, go for a walk. Even 10 minutes can help. And then number 8 in this section about big meals, if you do overindulge, don't beat yourself up about it. If you eat more carbs or food than you planned, don't think you've failed. Just make a plan to get back on track. Another thing about these big meals, make sure you don't have all the leftovers left at your house. So the big meal is the one event, not 3 or 4 days after that event, okay? Now let's discuss some tips about if you are hosting the meal. So that last tip kind of goes along with it. Make sure that your menu, this is number 1, make sure your menu includes healthy food options such as fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, not just a bunch of starchy, high-carb foods. Okay? You have control of the menu, so make it a healthy one. When you're cooking, avoid sampling the foods as much as you can. Sample only as necessary. These calories and carbohydrates can add up and they can affect your blood sugar. Number 3, if you're the host of the dinner, clear the table and put the unused food away to help guests and yourself avoid grazing. That's a big thing that I hear people talk about a lot, is grazing. So just put the food away when the meal has finished. Don't let it sit out. And number 4, this is if your family member or friend is the one hosting the meal. Offer to bring a healthy dish that you know you will enjoy and that can substitute for another unhealthy or less healthy option that might be at the meal. The next section, our third and final section, we're going to talk about is tips for holiday parties. So not necessarily just one big meal, but a party event, whether it's family, friends, work. I know with COVID, we're having perhaps fewer parties for the holiday season, but I'm sure that they will still be happening even on a smaller scale. So a few tips for holiday parties. Besides stay safe, stay apart, wear your mask when you can. Number one, we have 9 through here, by the way. Number one, eat a small balanced meal or a snack before you leave home. That's very similar to before a big meal. But this one, don't show up to the party completely starving. You're much more likely to overindulge if you arrive to the party really, really hungry. Don't plan on saving all of your carbohydrates for the party, okay? Try to, as best as you can, balance things out throughout the day. Have that meal or snack. Don't backload or front load all of your carbohydrates to that party or meal. Number 2, study all of the food options and think about what you're going to have before you put anything on your plate. So with parties, we often have a lot more options, like a buffet, a large table full of different types of options. So really take time to decide which foods are worth eating and which can be ignored. Don't feel like you need to take one of everything, and then stick to that decision. Okay? Number 3, if you taste something that you don't particularly enjoy, leave it on your plate. You don't have to finish it. I know that this is a tough one for a lot of people with certain family cultures or other just cultures in general. Finishing everything on your plate is something that is just done, but for your own health, don't feel like you must finish everything on your plate. People probably won't notice at a party, and it's not worth jeopardizing your management of your blood sugar. Okay? Number 4, choose vegetables first. At parties, typically there's broccoli, baby carrots, cauliflower, and tomatoes on appetizer trays or appetizer plates. Those are all great options, any of those raw vegetables. Just make sure that you only take a small serving, a spoonful of dip if there's dip, or skip that entirely. Number 5, eat chips and crackers in moderation. Those are primarily carbohydrates in those foods, and definitely avoid eating them straight from a bag or a bowl. Make sure you put them onto your own plate. Put them on a small plate. And don't load them down with any creamy dips, spreads, that sort of thing. Number 6, to avoid grazing, as we talked about already, try not to hang out near the food tables. Instead, find a comfortable spot across the room or wherever you are, and focus on socializing from at least 6 feet away and with masks on, instead of just eating the entire time. Number 7, if you have diabetes, remember to check your blood sugar regularly throughout the holidays, before and after parties, and add a few extra checks on those party days, so that can help guide your choices when you're actually at the parties. Number 8, sip a large glass of water, no-calorie water. This will help keep you hydrated, which is great, and also provide you with a better option than alcohol. There are a lot of those sparkling type of waters these days, the seltzer type waters. Those are great options. They generally have no calories in them, so either that or regular water. Those can also help fill up your stomach, so you're less likely to overindulge on foods. Okay, and then our final tip within this section, similar to how we just talked about before, is to take a walk after your meals, or take a walk or attend your usual exercise classes online, I suppose, these days. Make time to do your regularly scheduled exercise on the party days. Make it a priority rather than saying there just isn't time for that. Your health is probably more important than that party. Make some time for your exercise on those party days. Now, all of this is just talk. What really matters is you actually putting these strategies into practice during the holidays. It might sound silly, but I want you to take a moment to put your commitment to healthy eating in writing, sign and date it, and keep it in a place where you'll see it every day. It's a contract with yourself for this holiday season. You can write your own contract, however it makes sense to you, but I'll give you an example. So this is what a holiday healthy eating contract might sound like. So you would write it to yourself, right? I know that it is possible to enjoy the wonderful food of this holiday season and keep my blood sugar stable. Today, I make a promise to myself to make healthy food choices during this holiday season. I will balance my food intake. I will limit the sweets and desserts I eat. I will avoid grazing between meals. If I drink alcohol, I will do so in moderation. I will maintain my activity level, and I will check my blood sugar throughout the day, every day, to make sure that I am within my target ranges, if you do have diabetes, for that one part. I promise to enjoy this special time of the year and give thanks for my health, happiness, and the love of my family and friends. That is what a healthy eating contract could sound like. Sign and date your contract, like I said, and place it somewhere visible. So examples would be perhaps on your refrigerator, where all the food tends to be. You can even take it with you wherever you go. Parties, work. I know there's a lot of snacks at offices usually. Wherever you go this holiday season. If you want, I will even email you this exact contract I just read, and you can sign it, date it, and send me a copy of it. I will help keep you accountable. I am happy to do that. I want you all to know, keep in mind, yes, it is possible to enjoy the holiday season while also keeping your blood sugar and overall health a priority. Thank you all for watching. Also, speaking of holidays, happy Memorial Day. That's in May. Happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day today to all of our veterans or those who are currently serving. We at HealthWare are all grateful for your service. Happy Thanksgiving, because I won't see you for Carb Smart class until Thanksgiving is over. I am so grateful for all of you, to all of you watching live or the recorded version. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I will see you next week on Wednesday for our weight management class. Let me know if there's any topics you'd like to discuss for this class or any other classes. Just type them in the comments. I would love to know. Until next week, have a happy Wednesday.